Every night at exactly 11:43 p.m., an 11-pound orange tabby named Biscuit would walk to the back door and refuse to move. Not meow, not scratch, just sit there, staring at the glass like he was waiting for a delivery that never came late. For the first 2 weeks, Maya thought it was a phase, a quirky habit. Cats do strange things, she told herself. But this wasn't random. It happened every single night. Same time, same spot, same silence. And then, one night, she finally looked closer, and what she saw outside that door explained everything. Standing just beyond the porch light was a black cat, thin, scarred along one ear, watching the house like he'd done it 100 times before. The neighbors called him Shadow, not affectionately. That cat's bad luck, old Mr. Torres had warned her the week she moved in. He shows up, something goes wrong. Ask anyone on this street. Maya had laughed it off at the time. She didn't believe in curses, but 3 different neighbors had said the same thing, unprompted in the same nervous tone. A cat nobody would feed, a cat nobody would touch, a cat that had apparently wandered this block for almost 2 years, unclaimed, unwanted, and quietly blamed for every bad thing that happened near him. Biscuit had come from a shelter 8 months earlier, underweight, timid, flinching at loud noises. It had taken weeks just to get him to eat in front of her. He wasn't a bold cat. He wasn't the type to seek out trouble or strangers or anything unfamiliar. Maya worked from home, so she'd learned every one of his small habits. The way he circled twice before lying down, the way he hid under the couch during thunderstorms, the way he never, not once, showed interest in going outside, until that door, until that hour, until that one particular cat. So why was he standing at that door every night, waiting for an animal the whole neighborhood was afraid of? Maya decided to watch instead of intervene. She turned off the kitchen light and sat in the dark, just to see what would happen next. Biscuit pressed his paw against the glass. Shadow, on the other side, sat down and pressed his paw against the same spot. They stayed like that for almost 10 minutes, not moving, just present. Like 2 old friends who didn't need words, didn't need touch, just needed to know the other one was still there. Something about it made Maya's chest tighten in a way she didn't expect. The next night, she cracked the door open, just an inch, enough for Biscuit to slip out if he wanted to. He didn't run toward Shadow, he didn't rush, he walked, slow and deliberate, and settled down beside him on the cold concrete step, close enough that their shoulders touched. Shadow didn't flinch, didn't posture, didn't do any of the things a cursed defensive stray was supposed to do. He leaned in. Maya stood frozen in the doorway, watching 2 cats who had no business trusting each other, choosing to anyway. Over the following weeks, the pattern never broke. 11:43 p.m., give or take a few minutes, rain or clear sky. Biscuit at the door, Shadow already waiting outside, like he'd been counting down the same clock. Neighbors started noticing Maya letting the black cat linger on her porch. The whispers changed shape but didn't stop. "You're feeding him now? You'll regret that. He's trouble, always has been. That cat doesn't belong to anyone for a reason." One evening, a delivery driver refused to walk past the porch when he saw Shadow curled near the steps, leaving the package at the curb instead, muttering something about not taking chances. Maya started to wonder if she was making a mistake. Maybe there was something to what people kept saying. Maybe she actually didn't know this animal at all. If you've ever had a moment where you almost listened to everyone else instead of what was right in front of you, you already know how this feels. Stay with me, because it's about to get a lot more complicated. And if stories like this pull at something in you, subscribing means you won't miss where it goes. Then came the night that changed everything. It was well past midnight, deep into a storm that had knocked out power on half the block. Maya awoke to a sound she'd never heard from Biscuit before, a sharp, panicked cry from the living room. She ran downstairs and found him at the door again, but this time he wasn't calm. He was clawing at the frame, throwing his whole body against it, screaming to be let out. Through the rain, she saw Shadow lying motionless near the fence line. She didn't think. She grabbed a towel and ran into the storm barefoot. Shadow was breathing, but barely. Cold, soaked, one leg bent at a wrong angle. He'd likely been clipped by a car on the unlit road behind the property. Thunder cracked somewhere over the next street. Maya could barely see through the rain hitting her face, but she could hear Biscuit's cries getting louder behind her, closer, refusing to stay back. Biscuit reached him first. He pressed his whole body against the injured cat, low and shaking, refusing to move even as Maya tried to wrap the towel around them both. At the emergency vet, the technician asked if Shadow belonged to her. "No," Maya said, "but I think he belongs to my cat." The vet paused, then nodded like that explanation somehow made more sense than any other one she could have given. Shadow needed surgery, a fractured leg, dehydration, old scars that told a story of 2 rough years alone. The bill was more than Maya had budgeted for a cat that technically wasn't hers. She paid it anyway. For 3 nights, Biscuit refused to sleep in his usual spot. He sat by the front door instead, facing it, waiting for a cat who wasn't there, because that cat was in a recovery kennel 40 minutes away, healing. When Shadow finally came home, thin, bandaged, exhausted, Biscuit didn't just greet him. He stood guard over him for 11 straight days, sleeping pressed against his side, refusing food until Shadow ate first, watching every person who entered the room like he was reevaluating whether they could be trusted near him. By day 12, Shadow finally stood on his own, wobbling toward the water bowl. Biscuit watched from a few feet away, tail twitching, before curling up right beside him, like the job was finally, quietly done. The same neighbors who once warned Maya to stay away started showing up with food, blankets, even offers to help cover the vet costs. Mr. Torres was the last to come around. He stood on the porch one evening, watching the 2 cats curled together in a patch of late sun, and said quietly, "Guess I had that wrong." Shadow was never cursed. He was just a cat nobody had ever stayed long enough to understand, until one small orange tabby decided he was worth waiting for every single night at exactly 11:43. Because sometimes the ones everyone warns you about are exactly the ones who needed someone to stop listening to the warnings. If this story reminded you that loyalty doesn't always look the way we expect it to, you're not the only one who felt that. Some bonds don't ask for permission, they just show up night after night until you finally see them. So here's what I want to know. Do you think Biscuit somehow sensed something the rest of the neighborhood couldn't? Or do you believe every unwanted animal just needs one soul willing to open the door? Tell me what you think in the comments.